Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for Sorry. Thank you for finding me. I'm sorry. I saw the card that I didn't want to see. God damn it. Okay. I just stressed myself out so hard in these few seconds. My eye is twitching. I've waited 100 years. I'll wait 1,000,000 more for you. Nothing prepared me for what the privilege of being yours would do. Just let me sing this shit out, because all right, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. I'm doing an update for Blu-rays. I waited 100 years. I'll wait 1,000,000 more for you. Nothing prepared me for what the privilege of being yours would do. I'm trying to control my inner what the hell. All right, y'all, give me a second. Just getting these cards ready. I suddenly have anxiety too. I didn't have anxiety earlier. I have anxiety now. Yellow model chick, yellow Lamborghini, yellow top missing. What? She look like a toupee. I make board. Okay. Almost done, guys. Almost done. I have 1, 2, 3 more decks. All right. I don't even want to look at what the cards are at this point. I'm just going to keep pulling cards until I'm told to stop pulling. Yep, that's a card. Thank you, Michael. He made it fall upside down so that I couldn't see what it was. Yeah. Okay. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay, let's sing some Paula Abdul songs to maybe get this anxiety out of there. You're the whisper of a summer breeze. You're the kiss that puts my soul at ease. What I know, wrong fucking song. Yo, give me a fucking song to sing. Shit. Get that card out of my thoughts. It's just some bullshit. Okay. Let me grow the fuck up for a few minutes while I do this reading for you guys. Okay? Here we go. Let's get started. Cards are ready. It's time to grow the fuck up. Okay, we're just going to organize that there, and there. We'll put them face down so I don't get any more fucking offended than I already am. Here we go. No, fucking. Okay. Card number 5, Cultivate Love. Cultivate love. If you don't feel none of that love inside of you, you need to begin preparing yourself, preparing your thoughts, your actions, the options that you're selecting. Prepare yourself by cultivating those things, okay? Once you start cultivating an environment of self-love, other things will fall into place. Like the connections that we need to help support us in our self-love journey, they will come to you and they will naturally form. This is not something that you necessarily have to like go out of your way to look for. You know, a lot of us are thinking that we have to really go out of our way to look for these things, and we don't. The more you try and look for this, excuse me, the more likely you will find the distorted version of it. Because guess what? Until we find the genuine version of this, I'm having like, okay, I'm having, my senses are overstimulated. So just bear with me. I have to cover all my skin. If you don't know what healthy love is like, and you continue to seek what you believe healthy love is supposed to be, you will continue to find the people who have branded themselves as healthy love, when in reality, behind that, public persona, behind the product they're selling, is a very unhealthy mindset, a very unhealthy emotional and logical, unhealthy emotion and logic. And that's what's going to suck you into the same cycles that you've been in before and are trying to get out of. So instead of trying to define something that you don't quite know yet, you don't quite fully understand even the tiniest little bits of it, what needs to happen is you need to release what your perception is and allow your soul to bring these things to you. You're not going out and looking for these things. It will find its way to you, okay? This is how you cultivate love. You cultivate the different things you can control so that you're prepared and stable when your soul brings that to you. And the love that you receive, the healthy love, it's not always romantic. Sometimes it arrives in the form of friendship, okay? Oh, well, I mean, yeah, no, I don't need any more friends. Well, I'll tell you this. When I met my husband, I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was getting ready to move several hours away. And I wasn't expecting him to keep in contact with me because, I mean, let's face it, I'm moving several hours away. I was just like, oh, someone I can hang out with. He's pretty funny. He's really funny. He's pretty funny. Maybe we can. And that was like, we're working on 22 years at this point. So make sure you don't enter things with this preconceived notion of, okay, this is supposed to turn out this way. This is supposed to turn out that way. And this applies to all the aspects of your life, not just romance, not just friendship, not just family, okay? Card number 12, Hex, be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. Just because I'm a fucking brat. I'm joking. I'll stop. Michael says stop. Okay. Be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. So sometimes, and this is going to be a really potent thing I'm about to say, okay? Sometimes the enemy that's outside of us now lives inside of us. When you allow their words, when you allow their emotional and intellectual manipulations to take place, to take root inside your thoughts, inside the way you see yourself, that enemy now resides within you. Whatever that human being was brought to you to help you learn, whatever struggles they created for you to initiate some intense learning process, instead you took in that struggle. You gave it a place to live within you. And you can't run away from yourself. You just can't. You can try. You can spend your entire life running. And then you can realize no matter where you go, it's the same thing. It's not bad luck. It's not, why do I keep having the shittiest luck in relationships, the shittiest luck in friendships, the shittiest luck? There's no such thing as luck. I don't believe there's anything as luck. I believe there's causation and effect. Sometimes the causations, they predate this life. And just because that causation predates this life, it doesn't eliminate the potentiality of you experiencing the effects within this lifetime. So now we have to be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. So what kind of talk do you have within you? How do you treat yourself? earlier I was running errands and I was uploading some recorded readings for all the other signs on TikTok. And I was impatient with the process of uploading the video. It takes about like a minute or two for the video to upload. And while it's uploading, TikTok will play the last video that I uploaded. That I will start hearing myself talking on the phone. And my husband heard me say, bitch, nobody cares. Shut the fuck up. Because I just wanted to finish upload. I didn't want to hear nothing. And he goes, oh, so we're being mean to ourselves today. The fuck you say to me? I was being mean to myself. I wasn't intending to be mean to myself. I was just talking shit to me on my phone. But at the same time, what's that tell me? That tells me there's some background program, background recording that still plays within me, no matter how much work I've done on myself, no matter how much I've grown, no matter how much I've empowered myself to exist in my authenticity, there is still that background recording that tells me, bitch, shut the fuck up, nobody cares, stop talking. And that's fine. That's fine. Because after a certain point in my journey, I recognize my job is not to delete those recordings. Those recordings were given to me for a reason, to empower me. So as Blu-rays, we have a sense of rebelliousness within us. We just, what are you rebelling against? I don't know, but I feel like I have to. Sometimes you just feel like you have to and you don't know what you're rebelling against. You can't just go with the grain. And that's perfect. You're working perfectly. You know why? Because when you allow that characteristic to be applied to the very things that need that application, you've empowered yourself. Whenever I hear that recording play, that's the more I talk. That's the more I give myself permission to be my most authentic self, potty mouth, bad word sayer, pirate ass motherfucker. Absolutely, that's me. That's me. Also, me is very docile and very prim and proper and very soft in my words. All of that is me. And when I hear the recording, I'm reminded at one point in your life, you heard that and you allowed that to control you. Not no more. Not no more. Because card number 2, transform the way you see. Part of your transformation, part of the beginning of your transformation is transforming the way in which you see yourself. You cannot transform yourself and your journey until you correct the way you see yourself and then your journey. So, are you still seeing these parts of you as an enemy? Or are you finally recognizing those scars that I have from all of these times in my life where people have abandoned me, people have betrayed me, people have disappointed me, hurt me, all of these different things that have cut me, surface level or down to the bone, they cut me and I've scarred up in those places. And so now I'm broken, damaged? Which one? Both? Less than? Not worth it? A burden, a hassle. I mean, all of these lies that we tell ourselves. There's this Japanese practice. I always forget the name of it. But whenever they have pottery that breaks, any type of, ceramic that breaks, if it cracks, they go ahead and they take gold and they fill those cracks up. So consider yourself one of those beautiful, beautiful Japanese pieces that has shattered. I mean, after a certain point, you're pure gold. Recognize your worth. It's only the healers who have been wounded the most and have chosen to keep healing themselves. It's only those people that truly become healers of their environment, healers of the world. The happiest people that I have come across personally, the most beautifully helpful, empowering souls are the very souls who knew what it was to be trampled, to be pushed down, to be silenced, to be unseen, unrecognized, unacknowledged, undervalued, or not valued at all. They're the ones who know what it feels like. And they're the ones who found a way to climb out of that hole. And they're also the ones that extend their hand and help other people out too. So when things keep happening to you in your life and it makes you feel as though I'm just broken beyond repair, maybe you need to shift the way you see it. Remember, transform the way you see. Maybe you need to begin seeing that as a process of deconstruction. Whoever assisted in the construction of your psyche, consider yourself a spiritual IKEA piece. There were no words to tell them. And I don't know, maybe they're, as someone dyslexic, that will confuse the shit out of me. Yeah, it will, but I'll figure that shit out. And so now you're needing to deconstruct all of that. Maybe piece by piece, maybe the whole thing. It needs to be deconstructed and put back together in a more functional manner. And so if your life is coming apart, maybe you're being deconstructed in order to be rebuilt for your proper purpose. Because if you've never built an IKEA item, which I fucking love IKEA for some reason, if you've never built an IKEA item, if you don't put all the little fucking pegs where they're supposed to go, that's not going to hold anything. And I'll give you guys some advice. Being someone who has been a free soul living on the road nonstop for several years on end. We gutted the RV and we rebuilt everything inside using the upper end of IKEA items. It's not going to work. Is not going to work. No matter how much you pay for it, it's not made for jiggly RVs. So 9 of Autumn, reward yourself for all your hard work, being happily and successfully self-employed, cherishing your time alone. Wow. Being happily and successfully self-employed. In spiritual terms, this means your spiritual work is not for someone else. The energy you bring in, it's for you. It's not for someone else. It's not for someone else to profit off of. Blue Rays who provide spiritual services and counseling. Your gift is not for someone else to profit off of. We're about to enter a period where people are going to really seriously struggle. It's already begun. It's going to get a lot worse. This is not to scare you. This is to give you that push into this place of acceptance. Like, yes, I need to be compensated for my time, $20, $30, whatever you would pay someone else to do for you. That's what you charge for your services because you know the quality of your work. You know how deep you can go. You know how talented you are. And don't compromise. That is your price. The people who understand the value of what you do, they will agree and they will purchase your service. But this is about being happily and successfully self-employed. This is about allowing your gifts to gift you with the stability you need in a time of struggle and instability. And when you have that stability during this chaotic period, you can now be a very solid, sturdy, grounding presence for everyone that comes to you. You don't have to be in the same chaotic, oh my God, oh holy shit, what the fuck's gonna happen with the fucking world? A lot of shit's gonna happen with the world. We're birthing a new world. All these people, the new earth. Yo, have you never seen a motherfucking birth? Shit's messy. A lot of blood, a lot of wounds, a lot of screaming and chaos, and it's messy. We're messy right now. And it's okay because this ends in a very beautiful, beautiful way. So allow your gifts to provide for you. You don't have to charge ridiculous amounts, but your price has to be in alignment with the value of the service or product you are providing. Me being very, very cheap, I would pay whatever I have listed on my website for the work that I do. And what prices I've set, that's actually, I would value it more, but I wouldn't pay more because, like I said, I'm fucking cheap. So that's a fair price to me. If you feel you need to be compensated more because you're providing, and be very honest with yourself. Because when you're honest with yourself, when you're honest with what you feel your work, your energy, your effort is worth, when you come across the people who will tear you down and tell you you're full of shit and you're robbing people, you won't feel bad. You won't stutter when you say, I don't got to explain myself to you. If you don't want to pay it, don't pay it, but I'm not giving you no fucking free work. It's when you don't believe in what you're charging that you be, oh my God, people are going to attack me. No, not if you're charging what you know the work to be, the value of it, the value of it. I know what I do. I know what I have listed and what actually happens in the sessions I provide. I know there is no room for me to be ashamed because I should be charging a shit ton fucking more in the reality of things, but I don't feel that's right for me. So I'm not going to charge a shit ton more. I'm going to charge what I feel is appropriate because I don't want to only be accessible to people who can afford it. So that's my own journey. Whatever you feel your journey is supposed to be, honor it. Allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to be self-employed by using your gifts. The people who tell you, Blue Rays, that you are part of the problem because you're operating within a false fiat program are the very fucking people who have not done anything to resolve this false fiat and enter into a non-fiat system. I mean, unless they're offering you things for free, unless they're covering your rent, covering your car note, covering your groceries, they really don't get a say. Because those are the same people who are probably going to tell you, oh, you're a fucking bastard for getting state-sponsored care. Mm-hmm. So how are you going to work on your gifts? Because that's not free stuff. That's state-sponsored stuff. Welfare, food stamps. They make you jump through hoops for that. You got to go this, you got to go there, you got to get these documents, you got to come back in, now you got to go over there. Okay, now we got to check everything. That's not free stuff. That takes a lot of time and effort to qualify for. So as you're doing that, wasting your time and your effort, that's time and effort you could have been using further refining, expanding your skill set. You are not here to be a slave to the system. You are here to integrate into the system and use this system to provide you with the stability that you need so that you can provide a stability that will help the people around you enter into 5D existence. That's how it works. You have to operate within the human matrix that your human body exists within. If not, you're going to fail at your mission. If your mission is to help heal other people, all you've done is show them how to continue that oppression, that financial slavery. No, we are not here for that. We are not here to be martyrs to the people who are too stuck in their belief of how this system is going to crumble, yet do nothing in the attempt to crumble it. So the truth is this. The way the system is changed is people like you and I who have integrity, who have empathy of the deepest kind. It's us who become the wealthiest. And as we displace the 1% of this world, we will have full control. When you become the wealthiest, you now have the power to feed nations. You now have the power to heal sicknesses. You now can override big pharma. Tell me that shit ain't powerful. And that's why draconians are teaching those of us who are susceptible to their fucking teachings that y'all are the ones who are the problem. No, I beg to fucking differ. I am not a problem. I'm a living fucking solution to the human condition. How am I a solution? Because I exist with no shame or fear or guilt. I exist. I support myself. I support anyone I come across that my heart tells me to support. I have the ability to do so in whatever capacity I need to. Whatever capacity I need to, I will find a way. I will not gripe about it. I will find a way. And if I can't, I will pray until I do. And if that prayer isn't answered, I will bring in whatever I need to bring in to find the courage to keep going to find that fucking solution. So this is what Blu-ray is. This is what we are. Don't allow people to shame you, guilt you, all of that. Fuck that shit. We don't need that shit no more. That's part of the old world. We're not old world. We're new world, and we can't hold it against the people who still exist in an old mindset, who don't understand the gravity of what we're here to do. Don't listen to them, but don't hold it against them. Just, you got to work on your own skill set. You have to work on your stability, all of that. 4 of Spring, be grateful. You have much to celebrate. Deep feelings of peace and happiness, a contented personal life. This is what you get when you start traveling through the wilderness of your truth. Your truth has been untraveled thus far. It has not been explored, none of that. There's no paved path through your truth. So you can't listen to people who don't know what's there, okay? 5 of Spring, opposing goals arising from differing opinions, feeling at odds with yourself or others. Overly ambitious people. Now be careful, Blu-rays. Excuse me. There will be those who see the gravity of what you can offer. And there is a very high potentiality, still a potentiality, but it's a very high potentiality that these people will try and capitalize off of you. They will build something lacking integrity off of the foundation of your back. How do you fix that? Stand the fuck up. It's going to be real fucking hard to stand on your back if you're standing. No more of that bowing to people who lack integrity. No more of this submitting to the will of someone else. Because when you submit, you have to bow. I mean, I don't know. The only thing I'm willing to bow to is my own soul. Sometimes not even her. High Priestess of Water. So the truth of energy is it's hydroplasmic. That means it's liquid light. Hydroplasmic energy is what runs through your morphogenetic template. You have to become the high priestess of that energy. By the laws of sovereignty, in accordance with the definition of sovereign, the utmost authority, you have to become the utmost authority in your life. This does not mean assuming you know everything and no one else has anything to contribute to your growth. This means you listen to what other people have to say. You listen to what they share about themselves, what they share regarding their opinions of you, of other things. And then you pause and consider, does this resonate with me? Does this resonate as truth for me? Or no? Okay, well, it was good talking. It was really, and I'm not even saying that sarcastically, it was good talking. It was good listening to you and hearing about your journey. I mean, it doesn't resonate, but I'm not going to negate your experience, you know? And if something does resonate, holy shit, now my journey makes sense. Like, holy shit, which is good too. Both is good. Both is good. So you have to make some choices. Card number 46. 4 being the number of self, 6 being the number of receiving. You have to choose what you allow yourself to receive. There's a choice to be made here. Communication keeps coming through that we continue to attract things to us. What things, that's going to be different for everybody. Okay. That's going to be very, very different for everyone. So we have to be very mindful of what our thoughts, whether we speak them out loud or keep them buried inside us. What is it that we're bringing to us? Bats. Hold on. Spiritual meaning of bats. Ooh. Oh my God. Oh my God. The bat is trying to tell you that that part of your life is done and you should allow its rebirth. Continue to pursue your spiritual growth by letting go of your ego. Okay. It's a sign of good luck and prosperity. Be ready for some major changes. Damn. Conclusion. That's a strong ass message. I don't think I've ever had this message when this card has come up before, and it's come up so many times. So, chapter 1, the end, conclusions. Sometimes some things, some connections, they have to end at chapter 1. It has to just be the end. Sometimes some things, some situations, they have to end after the first word. First few sentences, I don't know. But chapter 1, the end, conclusion. That's a choice you have to make. Okay? That's a choice you have to make. Card number 12, every journey starts with a single step. We're walking towards an event horizon. We're walking towards something that's going to completely change the way humanity functions. If you want to see this as something apocalyptic, I mean, that's up to you. That's up to you. Let me define apocalyptic for you. Pocahontas. What's Pocahontas got to do with it? Let's see. True definition of apocalypse. It's a Greek word meaning revelation, an unveiling or unfolding of things not previously known and which could not be known apart from the unveiling. Now, modern definition of apocalypse, the complete final destruction of the world is described in the biblical book of Revelations. Yo. They need you to believe Revelations in order to manifest it. In order to manifest an event that large, at that large a scale, we need a large portion. We have to reach critical mass. And once that critical mass agrees with that storyline, that's how it's locked into place. See, the beautiful thing here is that enough of us are rebelling against the storyline. They're not reaching that critical mass. Not unless we agree. And if we agree, well then fuck y'all. Just kidding. Don't agree with that shit. Okay, I'm kidding, but don't agree with that shit anyways. So card number 25, release a dark wound, let love live. Let go of all of these like unrealistic expectations of how everything is going to happen for you, for the world, for your neighbor, for your city, for your... We don't know how it's going to happen. When people read for you, when people use tarot cards, when people do clairvoyant sessions, what they're reading is the trajectory you're on. Unless you shift something, an alternate trajectory does not exist. So if you're told what happens when you go down that specific road, if you go any further and you don't like what's going to happen, why are you going to keep going down that road? If you pause and like, I think I might make a right turn here. you never hit that trajectory. You never hit that end result. You get something else. So this is the point when Blu-rays have to really begin to choose, like, okay, maybe it's time for me to let that dark wound go. What is that dark wound? Well, I'll tell you. A lacking mindset, a poverty mindset, a separation mindset, a suppression, oppression, all these different things that we're told, like, you can't be this, you can't be that. Oh, races, that's a big one that they use all the time. You know, if we were different people, we couldn't intermingle. We can't have biracial children. And which of us, if you take a DNA test, has pure blood? What the fuck is pure blood even? I'm sorry. What is pure blood? I can say that I'm pure Filipino. What the fuck does that mean? We were colonized several fucking times, invaded by so many different fucking people. What's Filipino? Well, there's a probability of Japanese. There's a high probability of Chinese. Of course, the Spaniards, my last name Garcia. That's what makes me a saltwater Mexican, because they were also colonized by Spain, you know. So yeah, all of that shit. Not to mention my other roots. Yeah, it just. But I'm a typical Filipino. No joke. Typical Filipino is no big deal. It's not something you brag about, like, oh, I have Spanish blood. Like, no, bitch. Half the fucking island is Garcia. Okay. I just wound myself up. Okay, release that dark wound. Let it go. You don't need to separate. You don't need to compare. You don't need to do any of that. Just live your life. Grow in the way that you grow. Learn the things you need to learn. Have the connections you need to have. Let go of the things you need to let go of. Just do you. Okay? Just do you. So card number 13, power of attraction. You are attracting to you the very things that you need in order to learn at the depth you need to learn. Where is it? Was I reading something? Was that a conversation with you? Or was I reading something? This thing of needing to experience, oh, no, it's a divine apocalypse. An unveiling or unfolding of things not previously known and which could not be known apart from the unveiling. So if that's the definition of apocalypse, your whole fucking life is an apocalypse. Seriously, your whole life is nothing but a string of apocalypse cycles over and over and over and over and over again. So what's so scary? You've been living in apocalypse. You've been living in unveiling, cycle after cycle. This is just another cycle. I mean, I hate to bust your apocalypse balls, but it's just another cycle. And for those of us who are in civilized first worlds, all it really means is we're gonna begin experiencing what we are allowing as humans to happen in third world countries. That's all that means. Yeah, ain't that a fucking mind blower? All of these Americans who are, because I live in America, we're all fucking scared about shit, right? Oh my god, oh shit. Yeah, I mean, that's the shit that happens in other countries. We've been allowing it. We've just called them savages. Like, it's over there. Yeah, that's not us. It's over there. Well, now it's going to be us. And we're going to see what the rest of the world feels like. I'm not celebrating that. I don't find that as a funny joke or anything. That's a harsh reality. I come from a third world country. So I know what the fuck that means. I know what that means. And we're all about to know what that means. It doesn't mean all of us are going to get sick and die. It means we're going to finally understand why we need so badly as a species to reunify, to give a shit about each other. Because if you've never been to a third world country, or if you've been to a third world country and have only stayed at the resorts and don't know the people and the culture, then you probably don't know. But in third world countries, people tend to care about each other. Yes, there's a lot of corruption. Yes, there's a lot of opportunistic things that people do. But in the neighborhoods, they tend to care about each other. They tend to look out for each other because they have to. They have to. They have no choice but to. The people can unify. And maybe we need to experience something along those lines where, the struggle is really that deep. And that's what's going to cause us to reunify. I don't know. We haven't as a species chosen yet exactly how this is going to play out. That's why they keep having us argue with each other. I mean, for a short period, if you go on social media, everyone's talking about cultural misappropriation regarding hair. Everyone's pissed off. Everyone's this, everyone's that. Now you go on social media, you have everyone like, fuck, it's just fucking hair. I don't want to be involved in that shit. But that's what I'm seeing. There's this shifting going on where it's like, why can't we just celebrate each other? Hey, like I said, I don't want to be a part of that conversation, but I'm seeing a shift in the way that conversation occurs, in the way that it happens. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that there is something outside of us that's continuing to try and encourage us to fight over things that may or may not be trivial. But at the end of the day, whether it's trivial or not to you, is it going to be something? Is it going to be something that that feeds you? I don't think that conversation will feed you. So in that regard, yeah, it's trivial. But I do see a shift in the way people are approaching other people. There are still those who exist who want segregation, who want us to remain separate, who want to take away our ability and our happiness at enjoying each other's cultures. There will always be people like that who exist. But when you start giving them a platform and supporting the message of separation, then that's going to it's going to suck a little bit or a lot. Depends on the person. So expansion, north. We have to begin the process of expansion. We're going to begin this by going north. Within our thoughts, the way we think. The way we think is influenced by the way we feel. So as we're going north from our root, we have to cross our heart space first. Fix what's in that heart space. Allow yourself to release that dark wound that we've allowed to fester within our heart. All of us have a dark wound within our heart. All of us. And if you think that you don't because you had a perfect childhood, perfect life, perfect whatever, dig deeper. It doesn't matter what the outside of your life looks like. Whether childhood, young adulthood, full-on adulthood. I don't care what you drive. I don't care what tax bracket you're in. I don't care where you live, what you live in. All of us have wounds we carry within ourselves. Dig deeper. And it's okay. You don't need to comment it here. If you feel too embarrassed to acknowledge in front of other people, that's okay. You have a right to your privacy. But dig deeper and find what it is within you that needs to be released and then healed. So purity and ice. So many of us have forced ourselves to slumber, to sleep beneath the surface, because the world has existed in this emotional, energetic, and spiritual winter. The world, it's a very cold ass fucking place. It just is. It is. And the heat of everyone's sacred flame, your sacred flame is being flared. It's been in a process of being flared for quite some time now. That's to melt the ice. Notice how it's melting towards her. We have to first melt the ice within us meaning allowing yourself to exist authentically. Stop hiding your emotions. You don't have to be sobbing all the time. You don't have to record yourself crying and posting it just to prove that you're in your feelings. I mean, if that's what you want, you can, but you don't have to. Allowing yourself to have permission to feel, even behind closed doors in a very silent, secret way, that can empower you. You don't have to deny what your needs are, because oftentimes the feelings that become something so toxic that it begins to poison us, it extends from this unfulfilled need, unrecognized need. And sometimes that need is just to be heard. For someone to say, hey, I see you. I hear what you're saying with your eyes. I see you. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know how to fix the problem, but I see you. And most of us, that's all we really want. Some of us will shy away and close down even more. Others of us will become more external, trying to force people to see us and, hey, look at me. Hey, both are symptoms of a lack of acknowledgement. So all we have to do is acknowledge each other. When I acknowledge you, you then become free to acknowledge me. It's a beautiful thing. It's very, very healing for all the people involved. All of my live streams are about acknowledgement. I am acknowledging within me, sharing it externally, which is what you're receiving. And that external show of my internal circumstance is freeing you to free yourself. And either share in the comments or just recognize, holy shit, that's why I cope the way I do. That's why I behave the way I do. That's why my logic is the way it is. Oh my God, that's what happened to me at that point in my life. I didn't think anyone would understand, much less experience it too. But holy shit, I'm not alone in this world. And guess what? All of us are going through basically the same lessons, just in different ways. But we all learn the same types of lessons at the same time. Crazy, right? I say something on a live stream, what do you guys tell me? Oh my God, Emmie, I was just talking about that yesterday. Yeah, because we're all going through the same lessons. We are. My lesson might be something I'm learning with my husband. Your lesson might be something you're learning with your parent. Still a lesson of communication. Still the same lesson. So, ignition, fire. Oh, well, shit. I did say winter was melting. So, trauma-induced accretion, we're going through that. It's no big deal. Trauma-induced accretion is when you are triggered either by something you experience or something you just something you experience firsthand, meaning it's being done to you, you're living through it, or something that you're witnessing someone else experience. This triggering causes an influx of frequency. That trauma-induced accretion, when you get triggered, it triggers previous past experience traumas, past life traumas, earlier life traumas, whatever it is. If it's a trauma and it gets triggered, it takes you right back to that moment within yourself. Okay. And so what ends up happening, you're now initiating, igniting a fight or flight response. Your parasympathetic system, both the physiological as well as the etheric, they're being triggered. Those are signals that are being sent across all of your systems. That is instructing creation, who is very supportive of you in every single process that you go through. It's instructing creation, I need support. Creation will inject so much fucking frequency into your field. It will flood your whole field. This frequency that you're accreting, it's the equivalent of physiological adrenaline. Your third eye goes full dilation. Chakras, the spin is increased. Everything aligns, you're ready. You're ready. What are you going to do with this? The human mind does not know what's going on. This is when you start to hear ringing in your ear. This is when you start, oh shit, my eyeballs are wiggling in their sockets. What's going on? You are accreting extremely high frequencies. This is a trauma-induced accretion. You now have a huge reserve of extremely high frequency that's going to be used to propel you upwards. There you go. So, metamorphosis. Power and strength lie within our surrender to change. Ooh. Wow. So some would think what soul wants is for you to bow. Soul is a very specific thing. Thank you, Eliana. Soul is a very specific thing, okay? When it wants something, it wants fully. So this submission, it requires forehead to floor. You're not just bowing. You're fully giving in. And I tell you, based on my own personal life experience, when soul wants submission, that forehead to floor, it's in the last maybe 2 inches that I'm pushed the hardest, that I struggle the most, where I feel myself being torn apart. And the more I resist that, the more painful it becomes. Have you ever tried stretching? Stretching to the point where your muscles start to twitch and you start to tense up. And if you do yoga, you know to inhale and exhale slowly and completely. And as you exhale, as you release the dark wound, you then allow yourself to sink into that position. It's not something that's forced. It's something that you allow. So this submission is going to require a forehead to floor type of submission. No more like, oh, but I think I should go this way. That's up to you. But I'm feeling like for Blu-rays, our souls are kind of sick of you driving. I think they're ready to take the wheel. I think. I'm pretty sure of it. So card number 34, circled. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. Are we seeing our elders saying something about this period? I'm getting this feeling like elders, maybe tribal elders, maybe, I don't know. It's like elders were told about something before. Shit. Hold on. I screenshot something earlier. What was it? Oh. I screenshot something earlier. Usually when my soul tells me to screenshot something, it's something really intense. What is this? Oh, fuck. Eliminate the soul with medicine. More than 100 years ago, Rudolf Steiner wrote the following. In the future, we will eliminate the soul with medicine. Under the pretext of a healthy point of view, there will be a vaccine by which the human body will be treated as soon as possible directly at birth, so that the human being cannot develop the thought of the existence of soul and spirit. To materialistic doctors will be entrusted the task of removing the soul of humanity, as today people are vaccinated against this disease or that disease, so in the future, children will be vaccinated with substance that can be produced precisely in such a way that people, thanks to this vaccination, will be immune to being subjected to the madness of spiritual life. He would be extremely smart, but he would not develop a conscience, and that is the true goal of some materialistic circles. With such a vaccine, you can easily make the etheric body loose in the physical body because of the inflammation. This is, hold on, it's by Rudolph's. I'll post it. I'll share it. I'll post it. Let me just, I waited 100 years. So it's this right here. So later on, when you come back, you can, I don't know the validity of this. I didn't even realize what he fucking said. I just saw his face and Micah goes, screenshot it. So I did. Crazy shit. It's crazy shit, guys. Oh my God. It's the elders. If one of you know about an elder that's being very, very vocal about the events of the world right now, not specifically just vaccinations, but they're being like, maybe they're talking about prophecy, folklore, things like that, please forward me the link. Email it to me, contact@emmieevolving.com. Please forward it to me. There is information that is missing. Probably because I've been on TikTok too much. But, well, the good thing is that I've been on TikTok too much, and Michael keeps flooding my fucking field with like astrophysics, metaphysical shit. And I'm like, ooh. Okay. Card number 41, radical self-love. We can only receive love to the extent that we unconditionally love and live the truth of ourselves. So what this means is not the surface level type of, well, you can't be loved if you don't know how to love yourself. I call bullshit on that. I'm proof of that, okay? I didn't know how to love myself when I met my husband, who was able to love me completely and unconditionally. It was because of his presence and his patience that I figured out finally how to properly love myself. So what this is talking about is if you are not willing or able to see the parts of you that need the love and attention and acknowledgement, then you will refuse the people who will try and love on those parts of you. Some people in psychology call this defensiveness, cognitive dissonance, whatever it is, recognize it. So there was a part of me for a very long time that was not able to unconditionally accept me as I am. And the presence of my husband really irritated the shit out of me because he kept pointing things out that I really didn't want to hear. And then I realized he's not criticizing me. He's like, hey, you know, I see something's not okay. Let's love on that. And I would get combative. I would get really combative because it's like, what are you trying to say? He's trying to say there's a part of you that needs love. And just because you don't recognize that part of you needs love does not dismiss the fact that it needs love. So that's what that's trying to say. When someone tries to give you love and support for something that maybe you feel like you don't need that love and support, like, oh, I got this, do you? I found for me personally, when I begin with that talk of, no, I got this, it's because there's this insecure part of me that knows I don't got this, and I'm afraid to ask for help, because if I ask for help and someone says they're too busy or they don't want to, or they begin questioning me and making me feel as though I'm stupid and incapable, which is my own other insecurity, then that's just going to destroy me. That's going to make me feel like it's confirmation. All these horrible things that I think about myself, they're going to confirm it. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. You know who's in your life that can and will support you. And if you don't have anyone that can and will support you, it's time to begin clearing your field of the people who do nothing but weigh you down, tear you down, all of that. Because if in this moment, your spiritual parking lot only has 4 parking stalls, when people come into your life to deliver beautiful, healing things, you won't have any room for them to come in. If you are too busy catering to the takers in your life, you might misunderstand the presence of a giver. You might mistakenly assume they're there to take even more and you have nothing left to give. Well, if you would put that wound to the side a little bit, allow yourself to see clearly. Stop looking through the torn wound. You might see there are people in your life who are givers. And there's a part of you that knew that from the start. But it's scary to allow people to give to you. You know why? What if there's strings attached? What if there's not? This is about learning to speak up for yourself. This is about learning to stand up for yourself. If someone does something to help you, they're not allowed to later on be like, oh, but I helped you. It's at that point you can be like, I really appreciated that help. I really needed it at that time. But honestly, if I had known that it would now obligate me to do something that's not in alignment with what I'm comfortable with, I really wouldn't have accepted the help. I hope you understand. I can't do this. Because had I known, had you been honest with me and told me that that help wasn't help, it was prepayment for a later service, I wouldn't have accepted it. And sometimes we have to say these very difficult things. I don't know that I personally have the courage to say something like that, at least not yet. So don't feel like you're weak because you can't say things like that. But just understand, at some point, you might need to have that conversation. You might have to find the courage to say those exact words, and you might have to be okay with it. So here we go. Control. This is about people controlling. This is about suppression. You are the source of access. When we continue to allow the channels that were used to access us to remain open, these energies that come in to control and suppress, they will continue to use those same channels. They might use different people. They might use different types of circumstance, but they will continue to enter your life. So at this point, we have to make sure, close that up. We're not walling it up because we're afraid. We're closing it because now we recognize what we've allowed through that door, and we're not doing that anymore. This is a period where we're going to choose our own healing. So, what else? No, I don't want to read anymore. I don't want to read anymore, though. It says 2 more cards. 2 more cards. I just wanted to go get boba. I know, it's bad. If you guys need 2 more cards, and he insists that we need 2 more cards, boba can wait. It's not a big deal. I'm talking more to myself, not to you guys. Okay. 3 cards. Okay, card number 31, intention. Lacking personal direction begets confusion in life as a pawn to someone else's game of chess. This is what we were just talking about. This is what we were talking about. That whole conversation regarding, I'm sorry, had I known that your help was not help and instead it was prepayment for future services, future obligation, then I wouldn't have accepted it. This is about recognizing, you know who the people are that really you shouldn't be accepting their help. You know those people because you've probably witnessed them doing it to someone else. Please release this logic of, they'd never do that to me. If I see you doing something, saying something about someone else, if you're saying it to me, I then take in the truth. This is who you are. There is nothing special enough about me that you wouldn't turn around and do this to me too. I need distance. I can't do that with you. I'm not strong enough to be able to exist in that type of environment without it hurting or harming me in my growth. So I'm going to have to distance myself from you. This is about really living with intention. Now, with that intention, just because you live with intention does not mean you're going to be exempt from struggles, does not mean you're going to be exempt from needing help from other people. This is about finding the balance through discernment. Card number 15, distorted desire. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. Ooh, that is deep. The storm is approaching. There's a car in the background on that dirt road, and we're over here running. We don't know where we're running to. First card. Lacking personal direction begets confusion and life as a pawn to someone else's game of chess. We're being told a story here. We're being told a story. If we're not going to allow ourselves to receive the kind of love that is healthy because we refuse to see the parts of us that need that love, we will then fall victim to someone else's intent. Malicious but hidden intent. So it's time for us to start hearing the story our soul is telling us. Card number 26, forgiveness. Hurt blocks our light. So we are approaching a dark period. If we allow our hurt to continue to be obscured, if we continue to allow our light to be obscured by our hurt, this period will be a struggle. It doesn't mean you're at risk of true harm. It's going to be a struggle. And if you want to avoid the struggle, allow your light to shine through. Allow your guidance to enter. And this is not guidance from someone else. This is guidance from your soul. From your soul. Everything that other people say to you, readings, whatever, it's supposed to just serve as confirmation for information that your soul has already been trying to deliver to you. But because you've become so accustomed to listening to your internal compass, it's now seeking other people to reiterate the message. Don't listen to other people. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. When you tell yourself you're afraid, why is that? Because I'm just afraid. Well, then find out why the fuck you're afraid. What's making you scared? Is it someone's presence? Okay, well, if your neighbor scares you, why do they scare you? Who do they remind you of? Someone who hurt you in the past? Someone who betrayed you? The problem isn't the neighbor. The problem is the fact that we're not yet ready to address the wound that was left by someone else, caused by someone else. And if you don't address it at some point, your soul will continue to bring the triggers that will bring your attention back to that part of your life. Because your soul wants you to know you are whole. And the way to figure out, to learn, to confirm that you are whole is by revisiting these places, these points in your life where your circumstance, the world, your own thoughts about yourself, it tried to break you, but guess what? You're still here. So that means you're not broken. You still exist. You overcame that. And maybe you haven't gotten to the point yet in your journey where you're choosing to thrive. But as soon as you see how far you've come, you can see the period of trying to survive is done. You've already survived it. You survived it for how many weeks, how many months, how many years? You've survived it already. There's no more need for survival. Now is the period where you can choose, consciously choose to thrive. First within yourself, and allowing that thriving, that beautifully empowering energy to then ooze out of you and become the garden of your life. Because let's face it, the garden cannot be healthy and beautiful if the water you use to water it is toxic. It kills everything. So clean up your water. Install filters to block out the things that would poison your environment. And don't keep that inside, because once the filter is full, you toss it out. You put in a new filter. Same thing working for you. Filter out all these things that have caused you to be toxic to your environment. And we're not filtering it out because your environment is sick of you and you're the problem. No, we're filtering it out because we deserve to live in a clean space. We deserve to live surrounded by beautiful life. And now is a time you're going to be choosing as a Blu-ray how you're going to do this. What needs to be cleaned first? How will you clean it? What people will be involved in this? And these are just thoughts. Because as you begin to think, as you allow for the process and open yourself to different potentialities, your soul has a better chance of communicating with you directly. And although I want you to share space with me, it's a beautiful thing to know you're absent because now you're speaking directly to your soul. You don't need me to deliver messages anymore. Now you're taking the calls directly. That's a beautiful thing. I mean, you guys still share space with me. But even if you don't, if that's the reason why, I love it. I love it. It honors me. It honors my purpose. Grow yourself. You're powerful enough to do that. Don't become dependent on me. I have my own mess. And I say that, and what I mean is, I'm not perfect. I don't need to be on a pedestal. I'm right there with you in that swampy ass water, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And here's the thing, too. People seem to not have any appreciation for swamps because they're nasty, right? Swamps are some of the most fertile lands. They tend to be so biodiverse. Swamps are a perfect place to grow things. If your thoughts, your auric field is a swamp, exactly. The lotus thrives in murky, muddy waters. I mean, yeah, I'm a lotus. I love it. All right, guys, I gotta get going. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. If you're looking for quick readings, boom, boom, we're done, minute long. Or if you're looking for readings for all the other zodiac signs, visit me on TikTok. Follow me over there. My handle is Emmie Evolving. All right, guys, I love you. Empower yourselves. If you don't have the courage yet to empower yourself, keep joining me here. I'll empower you. I'm sassy enough for the all of us, not the both of us, for the all of us. I love you guys. Bye.